Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be in this vast world of electricity. You are tuning into the official Mythyw Myth podcast. First and foremost, I would like to wish and hope everyone that they had a great family season so far. We rounded Thanksgiving and we came sliding into home plate of Christmas and all that, and any other. I think I dislike Christmas mainly because of how commercialized it is. It almost makes me, want to like convert to another religion just to celebrate a holiday that isn't made. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. Christians, I think, don't make any sense anymore. I thought I understood it. I was born into a world of Catholicism and that lore, and it's always been, I have a reverence for the Holy Spirit, but I don't like the way they frame it, and I'm tired of feeling guilty from the people I grew up with that will be like, well, that's you better believe what we believe, and my family doesn't practice that. When I was a kid, I had received Holy Communion, but when it came time when I was 16 to do my confirmation, I told my grandmother, because at the time I was living with my grandmother, and I said, and she was very devout Catholic, and she sat me down and she's like, why do you refuse to, she's like, you're so spiritual, you're into this, you're into that, you're a creative person, whatever kind of thing. And I said, well, to be honest, after years of growing up in this religion, I really don't feel that I would be true to it, that I would not be participating in the way that is asked of it. And a lot of the people, when I go to these services, I knew them outside of that church, and I was like, you're a phony, and it just, and there's many different people, different walks of life that are phonies like that. And honestly, I respect the phonies. The people that do things for the appearance of stuff, that's how they function. I waver between the madness of having to get things done. I have like deadlines, which means that other things around me will be neglected, like, deep cleaning, on a day when I need to or something like that. So I go, you gotta take time to do all of those things. Sometimes, not having big plans is a good thing. It means you can have time to recalibrate your sanctuary, So yeah, but the thing is, holidays, it's a pretty strange place. I mean, to me, the winter time is just a good reason to, it's like a good excuse to watch football. It's cold. I think that's what the totem world would call the elk medicine, where it's just men grunting and pushing into each other and jumping and bumping and grinding in manly ways to achieve an end that really has no meaning. And again, in this world, you have one end of people who are at the helm of the money, who make their decisions based on that. And then you have the people who are the good citizens of fair Gotham, who like to believe that, like up here in New England, because I'm a New England writer, and I like to rep that, I'm just as crazy as all the other ones, but I haven't died yet, so no one really cares yet. So I'm trying to write as much as I can before I die, so that when it's, when it spills into the world, whatever. Not all wine gets drank, not all bottles of wine, some get smashed. Doesn't mean they're any different than the others. I mean, because if I, as a writer, if I don't inspire someone to take my words and inspire them to write them as well, or even rival me, I don't mind having people that, like I've met writers who are like, oh, you're a writer? Yeah, well, I'm a writer too. Like this parties is only big enough for one writer. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, are you writing right now? What the fuck are you writing? You ain't writing shit. You're just fucking drinking some kind of booze that you become particularly favored to, which most writers do, right? In certain age circles, everything's being relegated to time, I guess. As we leave one year, I think astrologically we're in a good place because, there's some very poignant Mercury retrograde going on, and all the school-minded people, like can't help but say Gatorade, which is fun from time to time, but I had my car break down during that. Actually, I should say this has happened twice, where 3 days before the Mercury retrograde, my car breaks down. Granted, I have a really old car because there's no computer chips in it, so I'm evading the government. At least that's my excuse for never wanting to have a car payment again. I went through that once, and the car was just full of bad memories and a bad starter, and it felt cursed at one point. But that's a whole different story altogether, the gateway. But what I mean to say, it's like, for the holidays, they'll lower the gas prices. Of course, the gas prices are low when my car breaks down. That's always fun. But, for my big New Year's Eve celebration was just cleaning my house. But, it's like I hate cleaning because it's like I love it, but I hate it at the same time. I don't know. I can't, I don't have a reason to hate it, because when it's done, I feel accomplished. I'm okay, that needed to be done. I think it's just it's like stoplights and sometimes pooping, where you just feel like, if I had this time to read that extra book, which you can do while you're pooping, I guess, but doing those kind of things, sometimes, it's like trying to not be stressed in traffic or something, or being stuck talking to someone that you don't really know how to converse with. Those are the worst too. So why, but I was thinking though, why is it that when you're cleaning, you feel so dirty? It's just you're cleaning the house, but I don't know you, I have to take a shower after I clean. So it's the whole house so it's when you're cleaning, does your whole body just absorb everything you just cleaned? You're just, yeah, I just feel like a piece of crap after. I feel like I just, you gotta refresh. I don't think I would, I wish if I could in my imagination, if I could have the ultimate shower, it would be stepping into a shower where the floor and the walls and the ceiling and everything is kind of like the side of a cliff, and I would want to have the shower water coming out like a waterfall. I think that'd be fucking sick. Someday, man, someday. So I did mention football. Like I said, it's the man totem inside of me. I know a woman that I have certain feelings for, and so it's funny because she's like, I hate football, and I get that some people just don't like things, and it's just a funny thing to me. It's more than, there's people that are statistically correct about it, and then people like me, I just love the game. I've never been able to choose a team. I've favored a team at times, but that's just a favorite. It's a favoring. It's not to owe allegiance to a team makes no sense. because it's all about the players, and the players, it's like the Red Sox Yankees thing. There's always some player going from the Red Sox to the Yankees, and it's like, oh my God, how could you? It's like they're not thinking like teams, they're just thinking like, I don't know. It's the idea of the moniker of the team is just for fans. It's nothing to do with the actual team itself, the sport that it represents. It's just a way of identifying it. They don't care, it's their job. So it's kind of ironic that like you almost need some, like an athlete like can't mix their personal feelings with their, with their job. So, it's one of those things where a lot of fans, they look at the players, I wish I could be that quarterback or that receiver or something like that. But I don't know if people ever wish they were the coach, but it's more of a different will to power. But then people will be like, thinking about that stuff, and they're living voyeuristically like that. But it's just not the way that it's lived. So it just seems kind of ironic how it's still the gladiator inside the, bread and circus and all that bullshit. And I know all that stuff. And one thing that I used to justify liking football was when I was reading a Zen book by like an actual Buddhist monk. And he was saying how when he would visit America, he found sports to be kind of like silly in some ways. And when he brought his mother, his elderly mother, to a football game, I guess, he found that she was so delighted by it. Not only did she like cheeseburgers and football, go mom, but it was just funny because the monk had a realization when he was watching the game, or whatever word you want to use, and he was like, like all the commercialism and the weird matrix of the fans and the audience and the players and the teams and all that stuff and money and things. At the end of that, when you're just in the moment of it, football is like anything else in life, where it's like a test of your responsibility, your ability to respond. And I think it's really cool the way that you're given this moment to do something. I mean, like golfers do it, bowling, sports are just a way that we've found to highlight these, but you can find it in anything. That's also why I've said many times before why I love doing craft work and working with my hands. I might not like the business angle of, say, painting and things like that, as I've been born into a family of that kind of things, but I love the act of doing it itself. So that teaches me that I can do that, but I don't find peace in the business aspect of it. And the funny thing is, people will say, oh, well, you're not, who says you're going to find peace in what you do? You have to go after the business. You have to push and this and that. Yeah, it's a matter of opinion. There's always a way to find a way. And sometimes, sacrifices are made in different forms. And sometimes, sometimes the biggest risk you can take is trying to do your best. Being like, oh, I tried to do the right thing. But in reality, you're really risking your soul. Your body, the part of your body and soul that's connected, that feels like one, gets separated in doing when you agree to do things that you don't really agree to do. That you don't, well, if you did it, you agreed to it. But if there's something that doesn't feel right, that doesn't sit right, and sometimes we have to go through those things to know what sits and what doesn't sit, But to let yourself be in a position that you just gotta look ahead, Sorry, that was a totally dropped sentence, but it's it's gonna drop like 2023. Here we go, a new year. January 2024. Man, my taxes are fucked up. But, what's funny is a friend of mine was saying how they want to celebrate their New Year's at the end of March in the equinox. I think that's, and I like I always do my own little, I have my own little traditions for the equinoxes as well. I get, that just seems like a more natural thing. That's where all the holidays are based off of. They kind of, we're basically living in some bizarre, if the whole point of what holidays are based off of nature cycles, but we're following the commercialized version of nature cycles, it just seems ass backwards. Why? And we all, it's the only time, all the people you love have the time off from work. It's it's Christmas, so we can fucking get together. It's well, why can't we, get together on the equinox and form in a circle around the fire and tell stories and shut your phone off for a little bit or something? And why is that such a taboo thing to do? To blow that candle out. Christmas candle. Oh shit, there's a fight going on. Melee. I've got some nonsensical sports going on in the foreground. Background? Where? You're the foreground. Sorry, I had to. The only way to shamanistically speak from myself to you, for this, is to kind of put my mind into two places at once and let the middle person just kind of kind of go off, damn, why can't I think of that movie name? The one with Tom Cruise where the precognition one, that's how I feel. I feel like the middle of my mind is those, not alien, but they're not mutants, but we'll think of it. But yeah, you probably already did. But what's funny is that you gotta just let it flow, And what I was talking about what I meant to get to with the whole equinoxes and holidays and bullshit was that April 1st used to be celebrated as one of the original New Year's. In some traditions, November 1st is considered a New Year's point as well. I don't think New Year's should be the way we think of it, because again, the New Year's calendar that we go by, we're just following what the corporations do. That's how they clock things, They go in quarters and paying tax. We're literally wedged into this mind of a memory of a money system. We're being stuffed into these boxes like that. And it's so obvious. People are I know that. But it's but they also think, well, I need money to live. And it's yes, but what if that money system isn't there? What if, things change, where societies change. We think things are so certain. It's only, there'd have to be a global agreement of things that's already going on, and they'd be pretending that they're not united, right? Because that would be the only way to keep this charade going. So clearly that's what's, in a sense, happening. They keep someone keeps an illusion of not having this United Nations or New World Order crap or whatever. But it's already there. It's already been existing for a long time. It's just, it's kind of like the people that really run everything, they let these ruling families have these squabbles, the Trumps and the Bushes, the Bidens, and then they, it's the same shit over in England, but with kings and queens, or the king and the prince and the photographers and the lovers, and it's all just a fucking charade, in that sense. And we all know this. If you say this, people go, well, yeah, but they don't it doesn't sink in that these things are useless, have useless functions, and some people are still trying to create something to hold that world together in pieces, and some people are just like, well, I don't know where the wind, where things are blowing, but I'm just gonna like turn into a feather or a leaf and blow into it, and whatever's there will catch me. So a lot of people that have all the money and the power, they're like, well, these people have no other choice but to fall into our net. But there's some people that, as they're falling into this net, they're turning their bodies into scissors, and they're cutting through this net, and they're falling through the bottom of the little chinks in the net. And some people are caught in the webbing, and some people are on the ground looking up at these people caught in the webbing still, and they're like, well, I can see you're like right there. It's like when you're like in those kid things, they have like 4 layers of look like Spider-Man spiderweb shit, and there's that one kid who will fall through like 6 of them at once and hit the ground, break a rib, and there's that one kid who will like fall through like 2 of them and like get caught up on one, and he gets like a rug burn on his leg and all that stuff. But they keep playing and no one ever sues. But that's that's where we find ourselves. So if we just follow those things a little differently, maybe we should get together, 2024, maybe as a minister, I need to push for people at least close to me to get together and do more, or maybe start my own group of some kind and get people together for these occasions to kind of break the spell around us of being like, we don't need to follow this zombified, organized conveyor belt consumerism bullshit, and everything's available, and it's all about what you want to choose. If something goes out of favor long enough, it's no longer there. It just dies away. But what I found out is that people who, when they change the calendars or some shit, they would say that if you still celebrated April Fool's Day, or like April 1st as the New Year's, you were a fool. So they started mocking people, and that's why they perpetuated April Fool's Day, because it's much easier to gang up on people like that than it is to encourage something, of course, for whatever reason. But that's been our problem for so long, is we're always trying to find the easier way out. Progress is so great, but at the same time, it's also stifling, because when you progress, you're just trying to make it easier. And we finally made it so that the world is this place where you can sit in one spot and learn anything you want, have anything delivered to you. But because of all of that, for some reason, it's shortening our attention span. And I pray every day that humanity finds a way to trust and have patience and love itself. And that's where I would like to leave off 2023. Cut the cord from the times where we lived a certain way, where we relied on a certain way. After a little bit of time, it's just something inside your mind. And people know that, and they use that against us. So what are we going to do? How are we going to create our way out of this? I don't think I want to entertain anymore. I think I'm just interested in sharing some blueprints on escaping this from within. It's not about me running away. It's me finding a way to be okay with who I am, no matter. The goal is to be me. Your goal is to be you. anything is trying to control that, you know it's poison. But, before we go, I made these cool, like, visual, like, business card things, and it has this, slogan, the memory of a dream, your skull is the key, or something. I don't know, I gotta read it actually, to be honest, but you'll see it out there. The thing is, we have the ability to create dreams here. Create your dream best you can. That's all this is. Every day we wake up and we have a dream to create. And at some point in time, the universe will go into our lives and peer through our eyes and get a glimpse of what life is like here in this time. So you know, the more you can relate to the universe or relay, the more you could be the messenger to the universe. I feel the more, you know, that's why when you learn something, you're compelled to share it, because that's what the universe is asking for. It's a big loop, the Ouroboros, the figure 8, the 0. It's all one and the same. So I wish you a fabulous experience of life after this. As for me, well, you'll see me. I'll be here. But I don't know if it's going to be the same. And I mean, you know, I think that's actually kind of the point. But, you know, I'll be doing some fun podcast updates and things. I think that's what I'm going to mainly be doing, is sharing. I have a massive amount of writing, and I need to turn those works of writing into kind of like memes, basically. You could say, like meme format, where I can share pieces of my writing and just start getting it out there more. Start stamping it with my name, get those ideas out there more. Less video in the sense of I've shared some cool ideas and some things I want to work on, and it's given me some ideas, but I'm feeling a calling to something specific. I'm also going to be working on writing a book with my friend. Him and I have like a cool horror story idea, and I'm sure, you know, like along the way I'll do some vocal, you know, some poetry or short story readings. But I'm really going to focus on getting the words out, words that I've had collected for a long time. And it's time to get that out there. And then I'm going to be working on taking all those words and making a compendium of that. And also, you know, privately, I'm, you know, with some friends, I'm still making some music, so I can share some links with that when that's over. We have a second album that's coming out for Hollow Void, HOLOVOID. Check that out. It's cool soundtracky stuff. That's pretty much what the year holds, is taking it day by day with a few major goals in mind, but also, you know, practicing some swan medicine. You know, like they say, the duck might look serene above the water, But under the water, you might not notice that those legs are kicking like hell. Meaning, you know, hold your composure, but underneath the surface, be fighting. And that's how I feel about this year going into it, is I'm not going to let this surface world, the outside world, get my feathers ruffled up as best as I can. Usually when I do, it's when I get mad at myself. So I try to keep it to a minimum, the impact. You know, CO2 and all that stuff. Global warming, all the, you know, protect the parks and all that crap. But under the surface, the gloves are off, and I'm fighting my way through hell, just like you. So we're gonna fight this together. I have the words, the blueprints to ideas. I think it's time. Writers write things, but it's not always the right time to share them. I think now it's time to unearth the undead of our souls. Yeah, man, heavy stuff. You can dig that? Alright. Until next time, this is Mythyw checking up on you, making sure you're doing good. Because I'm holding it together, man. I'm holding it together. We all gotta hold our own pillars up. You know, we can't rely on anyone else to do it for us. But we can do it. You can do it. No, wait, that's like a mixture of Waterboy and the Warriors. Can you dig it? Alright, have a happy new year, motherfuckers. I love you, and love yourself, all that crap. Be the light, hold the light, fight the fires, and don't burn your house down. Man, this year, I think 2024, I think it's gonna be